Alright guys, welcome back to another new video. So a lot of you have been commenting on my videos to make a multiplayer guide video like that, since most of you guys are complicated about the new multiplayers and how you're supposed to play it now. So yeah, I guess we got the video out. Sorry for most of the delay not uploading much videos because I'm pretty lazy these days, yeah. And I'm mostly just like relaxing my mind by practicing my art skills like that. So let's get to the point. Many things changes in this new multiplayer. First of all, both teams' bases are immediately deployed onto the field itself. Next, you will see a center layer with a few of these boxes. These are known as clone crates now. These clone crates give you reinforcement clones. You can notice it on the left side of your top screen. To get reinforcement clones, you need to capture a crate. When the crate turns green, as you can see this green light there, you can capture it by standing on it for a certain amount of time. It's really hard to explain about all these crates, but for short words, not all crates will always have green lights. At a certain round, they will automatically become green. That's when you can capture them. If they have red lights on it, then it means you have to wait for 2 rounds, the 2 next rounds. When it reaches yellow, it means that by the time it's the next round, it will become green, which is then you can capture it. There are several tier crates, which is really hard to explain, but I can only say that at the second round, the first few crates will be open to capture. Then next at the 4th round, at the 6th round, then finally at the 8th round. These crates have different types of clones that are more powerful or weak at the same time, but remember, it's important to always capture them. These clones will help you push your enemy's base and also control better over the center layout. So remember, don't let a crate go to waste. Capture it as fast as possible before your opponent does, or you're gonna get overwhelmed. Take note that not all of the center layers will always be the same. There will always be a new one in every new match, like elevator halls, pyramid layouts, or diagonal layouts. So it's best you try to change your strategy in order to adapt to these layouts, because these layouts will heavily depend on your playstyle and how you play with it. Some clones will also be highly benefit by these layouts too, like strikers, grenadiers. Just remember, not all layers are the same, so try to change your playstyle as much as possible in order to beat your opponent, because he will also do the same too. So now that we have gone over to how the new multiplayer works, now let's start with strategies and metas. So now that we have done the introduction of how the new multiplayer works, now let's talk about strategies and metas now. First of all, I will recommend you to focus on controlling the center first. Collect all crates, then attack your opponent. Keep in mind that it's best not to die, because if you die, your opponent's either gonna collect all your crates or rush your base, because it is unprotected and you're not there to protect it. Seriously, one mistake and your entire game is just gonna get overthrown. So remember, don't die or you're gonna lose the game.
My son, dying is gay.
First of all, your base needs to have a lot of good equipment, so I recommend using Incubator, Booster, MD Station, Repair Board, Ray Turret, Tomahawk. Now let's talk about the equipment I recommend you to use itself now. First of all, the Incubator. The Incubator itself is really decent, but really helpful for a lot of players, especially if you're a beginner now. Incubator spawns weak but cheap clones to help you push the middle easily, from cadets, marksmen, commandos, and infantry. They will help you push your opponent a lot and help you gain control over the center, so it's best to use Incubator. Now most people might do double Incubator because they want double the push power, but still at the same time it's pretty risky, because if your opponent does Ray Turret or have a chip or a giant, well, they can easily just use this as an advantage to push you. They can even push you to your base and even take out your incubator, so you might want to pay a bit of attention towards it. But at the same time, I feel like double incubator is really like an abusing strategy, so what's your choice? I mean, I can't stop you. Next up, Tomahawk. Now, you guys saw me use Tomahawk in a few videos. So what is the good thing about Tomahawk is that it will focus on targeting the most closest clone. This way, your opponent basically can't get close to you. It means, well, they can't really do like commandos or rookie rushes because, you know, sometimes they will always try to kill you early on so they can gain control of your crates on your side of the base. But with Tomahawk, you can stop that easily if you're really hitting striker situations. But just remember, Tomahawk can easily be countered by Incubator because they basically resent weak and cheap clones, which will mess up the AI's targeting. Yeah, they're gonna like constantly target the clones, the Incubator clones instead. So you might want to be a bit certain and careful about that when it happens. For MD Station and Booster, they are one of the few equipments you must use. Recommend to use a lot now. Here's the thing about MD Station, recently there was a rework. Now it will drop healing explosions which will heal your clone to full health. Well, if it's not a giant or a bro or a centaur, sir. But if it's a striker, grenadier, marksman or a normal clone like that, it's gonna heal to max HP. And about booster, it boosts your speed. Now most of you might think it be a little bit useless because it only gives you a speed boost, that's all. Nothing special, like it's not like special as a Tomahawk or an Incubator, but trust me, booster is really one of the most recommended equipment in the game that will help you win matches. Well, it's really depending how you use it. The booster will help you boost slower clones, slow and expensive clones like defenders and grenadiers and giants the most. It's best to use them in order to get a better and quicker movement to the center so you can basically plan faster strategies. About repair board, well, I can't really say much. It's mostly the same like an MD Station, but it only repairs mechanical clones. So it's basically kinda useless early on, but still pretty helpful. I mean, yeah, you can easily recover your defender's shield, and if it gets to the point of the late game and you're able to chip spam, repair board is gonna help you a lot because basically the repair board will just keep repairing the chips. So if your opponent accidentally dies but almost kills you, then you can just sit there for like 10 to 20 seconds and let the repair board heal you up. For strategies used to compete for the center, there are a lot like Grenadier Spam, Striker Spam, Engineer Spam, Rangers. Now, in this new multiplayer, it definitely has encourages the player itself to play more skillful and aggressive than before. So first, let's talk about Striker Spam. Now, Striker Spam is a very favorite strategy in the game because, well, I mean, yeah, they can fire guided missiles and they always hit their opponent. So yeah, now, what makes Striker Spam so favorite and dangerous is that when it comes to center layouts or base layouts with a lot of high platforms, that is where they start growing very fast. Now, strikers are very weak, but when around platform zones they dominate really hard because since most of the clones in the game can aim or target like them, they can basically just shred you through high ground advantage. The only disadvantage about Striker Spam is, well, they don't perform really well if there are not many high platforms for them to run around, because you see in the game most of the clones can aim or target like strikers, but still when it comes to the ground control they are really powerful, especially if there are not much platforms like marksmen and grenadiers. So you're gonna have to be careful about that if you're trying to Striker Spam. Next up we have Engineer Spam. Now, yeah, this is pretty much yes, I mean it's a pretty common spam like Striker Spam too, but that's only for cowards. I mean, basically it's only for beginners like Grenadier Spam is like pretty cringe though. I mean, I had to agree because you're basically just camping your opponent for the entire game, not doing anything but just playing defensive, only hoping for the sentries to kill your opponent when they are in like 3 to 4 stacks of them. So yeah, if you want to have a better game and more skill, I mean, you should probably try out more offensive strategies than defensive strategies, because if you keep playing defensive the entire game, you're not gonna learn anything. Now for Grenadier Spam, this is my favorite now. The thing why makes Grenadier Spam really good and powerful at the same time is because basically Grenadiers are one of the tankiest clones in the game. Well, not as tanky as Defender or Tank or Centaur, but they can resist striker attacks, marksman, ranger attacks like that. Grenadiers also can throw powerful grenades to basically do AoE damage now, that can easily kill stacks of enemies quicker than strikers. And their cost is 150 blue coins lesser than them, which makes it 2 times worth it. So yeah, Grenadier Spams are one of the best strategies in the game that you can use to play offensive or defensive at the same time. For rushing strategies, I will recommend using jetpacks, blasters or cyborgs now. The reason why I say this is because in this new multiplayer, it has encouraged the player itself to play offensive like what I said earlier, but at the same time this means that every opponent's base might not be as defensive as before. Like, they are much more easier to rush now since there are not much clones of equipment that can stop you, like drones, launchers, they're all gone. Now you can just fully rush your base, rush your enemy's base. But still, it's gonna be pretty hard if they have giants or strikers or jeeps, but if you kill them or they don't bring it into their base, you're gonna have a free game, a free win. I'm not gonna really talk about the early game and the late game units like marksmen, cadets, rookies, commandos, defenders, and the late game rangers, jeeps, brutes, those stuff, because well, they aren't really known as meta other than the mid game strategies I just listed out. So yeah, I'm not gonna really explain that, but by right now I think most of you guys already know how the new early meta and the late meta should be. So here are some lists of the best base or the most common base you can use now. For low ranks, I don't know how you're supposed to actually use these layouts or equipment, but if you have one of these key recommended equipments or clones listed in this video, use them wisely or just use them. Yeah, just use them, because seriously they are gonna help you a lot in your game. So that's the end of the video, so I hope you guys enjoy, and if you guys don't understand what I'm saying, you can basically just look at the points which I just edit out for you guys, so it's more easier to understand everything that I explained in short words now. Yeah, there's nothing really much left to say, so thank you guys for watching, and I hope this guide actually helps you in this new multiplayer, because a lot of you guys have been saying about how confusing and difficult it is. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye guys.